Welcome to Ascending with Venus Castleberg, a space where we explore the journey of spiritual awakening, expanding your consciousness and raising your frequency to create a whole new world. We'll dive into the possibilities that open up when you choose to follow the whispers and trust your inner knowing. Each episode is designed to guide you in expanding your awareness, tuning into your intuition, and discovering the magic of your life every day. We'll talk about living aligned with your soul's purpose, going beyond limitations, and creating a life and a world worth celebrating. You are here to embrace who you truly are and step into the infinite potential that's waiting for you. Let's ascend together. And now, here is your host, Venus Castleberg.
Hello, beautiful people. How are you today? If you're out there, say hello. I'd love to hear from you. Love to know that I'm talking to some people. It's always nice to know that you're not out there alone, right? And we'll put this in the comments as well, but hi Simon, welcome. You can call in. Can you believe it? You can call in and actually talk to me for free. But you have to pick up the phone and actually dial the number to actually talk to me. It's 202-570-7057. And I apologize if I'm a little bit off today. Hi, Heather. Hi, Bob. Nice to have you. I've been sick. I've been, I thought I had the bug for like 24 hours and then I felt better. And then yesterday started to feel poorly again. So, so I'm not 100% today, but that's okay. I will pull it out and see what I can do anyway. And I was just sitting here kind of contemplating this subject, thrive in alignment. What does that mean? Thrive in alignment. If you have an idea of what that means for you, put it in the comments. What does thrive in alignment mean to you? So I'm going to be a little bit vulnerable here today. I can be vulnerable on these shows sometimes. But today so you know those word grams, you know, where you pick word or like it's like a puzzle and you can see all these like letters and then you find words in it. And I think last year around this time, there was one that came out on social media. Like the first three words you see are your theme for 2024. And I'm gonna sorry, it seems like I have something in my eye today too. So those three words for me that popped at that time were connection, gratitude, and faith. And the one word that really stood out for me, gratitude is a big one for me, but the one that really stood out for me was faith. And what was difficult about that word, because when I first saw it or first popped out at me, I was like, I knew instinctively, like that gut feeling, that I was going to be tested this year and that I had to have faith in the process. But of course, because I saw it and I saw faith and I was just like, yeah, whatever. I brushed it off. No big deal, made really light of it, but I knew I was going to be tested. And I don't know if I truly believe that there's a God up there that's testing us or if we test ourselves. Either way, it doesn't really matter. I think that the point being is that we have to actually trust that everything is working out in our favor. And I know that that rubs some people the wrong way because, there are times when, when I was down with a flu bug that, literally knocked me out for 24 hours and I couldn't keep anything down. It's hard in those moments, of course, to be like, oh, yeah, have faith in that this is working out in my favor. But it is. And you know how I know that? Well, I was also a nutritional counselor at one point and did a lot on health and wellness, massage, body work, lots of stuff around that. And one of the things I know about getting sick is that actually that's our body's defense mechanism, right? It's actually good for our body to get sick because it's fighting something. A fever is actually burning something away. It's like killing some virus off that's hazardous to your health, right? So, but it's so easy to look at sickness or look at struggles or look at things that maybe aren't working out the way that you'd like them to as difficult as like something's wrong, right? When things are difficult, it's easy to go to something's wrong. Instead of, can we ask a question? What's right about this I'm not getting? I learned that one in Access Consciousness, right? What's the beauty underneath this? You ever ask that question, like you really struggling with something and you say, what's the beauty underneath this? And the universe actually will show you. The beauty underneath this is this, or this, or this, right? And for those of you who've read my book, you know that, my life has not always been puppies, rainbows, and unicorns, and it still isn't always puppies, rainbows, and unicorns. But I have come to learn to trust in the process, even when things are difficult. And yeah, I mean, I was abused when I was a kid. And many years later, I was a camp counselor for kids. And I remember 10 out of the 11 girls in my cabin had been abused in some fashion. And in that moment, I knew that if that hadn't happened to me, I couldn't have been there for them. So I can look back at almost everything in my life, I think everything, without, I don't, off the top of my head, I don't have anything that pops to mind that I have any regrets or I still wonder why that happened. It's like I trust in the process. Now, like I was saying, it's not easy in the moment when you're sick and you don't feel good or your bank account's low or you don't know where the money's going to come for Christmas, right? Like these struggles and difficulties that are going on in the world right now are real. I'm not discounting any of them. And I've been through all of them. I've been, so broke I didn't know where the next, paycheck was coming from or the next meal was coming from or how it was all going to work out. I've been many thousands of dollars in debt many times. So, but when I look at my life, even if I just look at this year and I go, okay, at the beginning of the year, I got faith and I knew that I was going to need some of that. And I have definitely needed some faith. Some things changed in my life this year that I didn't expect. Some things didn't work out the way that I wanted them to, the way that I expected them to, the way that I thought that they would work out. They didn't. Things happened that weren't that fun, right? But we're programmed, we're taught to focus on what we've lost or what didn't work out, instead of, can we focus on what we've gained? Which is why I think it's so interesting that my 3 words for the year was connection, gratitude, and faith. I don't know that it necessarily need to be in that order. I think it might have been like faith, have faith, connection, and then find gratitude. When things are not cool, things are not like working out that way, the way that we would like to, we can have that moment of we did something wrong, something's wrong. Did I do something for this to happen? I don't know if you guys know this. Is it Jamie Lee Fox? I believe I might be saying that. I think it's Jamie Fox. So Jamie Fox has a special right now on Netflix, and it says what happened was, and he was a stand-up comedian actor, but he actually had a stroke. It's a pretty cool show if you haven't had a chance to watch it. But, he recovered from the stroke, but he's very touched by what happened for him. Like, he found faith in the process, faith in what happened, right? Yeah. Awesome. I'm sure I have more to say about that, but yeah, just sometimes to thrive in alignment means we have to have faith, and we have to trust that what's happening right now may not look the way that you want it to, but that it is working out in your favor, and that something great is coming out of it. What's the beauty underneath it? So I am so excited. We have a caller today, Annette.
Yes.
Is that Alejandro? Annette?
Yes, Annette is here.
Oh, hi, Annette. Hi. Nice to meet you. Thanks for calling.
I love what you're talking about right now. I'm just getting over the same crud. And sometimes I wonder, and I always think that same thing, there's a reason. Maybe I'm supposed to slow down and think about some things that the monkey mind gets busy and we need to rest a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, thank you. I hope you are too. It just takes a little time, and at least we have it out, or I have holiday busy time, so I'm glad this is happening now. There's always something to be grateful for, right?
Yep, exactly. Awesome. What can I do for you, Annette?
I'm not familiar with your work. I just heard, I'm going to check into your book now. To be honest, I just kind of stumbled upon you through Om Times, and so you said, oh, you can call in. I thought, well, I'm going to do that. Oh, and of course, my dog.
Okay. We love animals. It's all good.
So I was just wondering if you give people like a message, if you can get a message from Spirit for me. What do you, or do you prefer not to do like personal questions or?
Cool. Yeah, that's a great question. So the way that I do these is that basically you can call in and ask any questions. I don't do live readings for people. Not on this anyway. This is more like, maybe you have a challenge or you have a question about something going on in your life, then we can kind of work through that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the only thing that would come to me when I was deciding on what to ask is I've been struggling with trying to find focus for 2025. And I feel like I need to get out of this box that I'm in, bubble, whatever, and just, get out there and just speak my truth and share more. That's kind of what I've been thinking about lately, but I don't really know if I should have a different focus for healing first, or, I like to write, but I don't know if I'm ready to write to share, what my purpose is, I guess, so that I can serve people, because I feel like I'm about ready to serve others. I feel like I've done a lot of healing and a lot of work over the last couple of years. So I'm kind of in that place where I'm just not really sure where to go. And the more you learn, the more I learn, the more I realize there is to learn. And sometimes it gets a little convoluted, and it's like, oh, okay, there's just too much going on. I'm learning too many different things. I have to just stop and focus.
Right. Yep. Awesome. Great. I think that's great. Yeah. So, well, I'm going to say something kind of broad, and then we can narrow it down for you. But the first thing I would say is just start.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you don't figure things don't actually show up first, and then you can choose. You have to choose and then be directed. It's kind of like the divine. You are your own sailboat, and the divine wants to like contribute, but you have to put your sails up. You have to be in action. You have to be out there in the world. It's kind of like if you wanted to like meet somebody, you have, for the most part, most people need to leave their house and maybe join a dating app or go to a social event to meet somebody. They don't usually knock on your door. I know every once in a while somebody meets somebody that comes to their house, but it's kind of rare.
I up with that too.
Right. So, in my book is a great example. Like I didn't even know how to write a book. I just committed that I was going to sit down and write for 20 minutes a day. And I wrote for 20 minutes a day some days, and some days I ended up writing for hours because it was just flowing. But then other days it was kind of like pulling teeth. But I committed every day to write for at least 20 minutes. And it just started to come, and it came more and more frequently. And I wrote the book within 3 months.
Wow.
Just because I was committed to like, I'm going to spend time on this every single day. And you may not know what you're going to write about first, but if you promise to spend the time on it and then do it, it will come. So that's the being in action, putting your sails up.
Mm-hmm, for sure. Okay. Yeah, I just there's so many different modalities, and it's like, should I dive in and try to learn more about channeling or Akashic reading, all those different things. But I realize that you have to start in order for spirit to work with you. You have to make a choice on something, choose something, and then they want to work with you, but you have to be like you said, you have to make that first move, and then the breadcrumbs will bring you to the next step. And
yeah, but I think when it comes to modalities, it's like I've studied 25. So I mean, I was definitely somebody who really liked to learn things, but at some point you have to go, okay, I really like this modality. I'm going to play with this for a while. It doesn't mean that you have to. I think that's the other thing that's a misconception, is a lot of people believe that if they choose something, they have to stick to it forever. You don't. You can try it and be like, oh, that was fun. I enjoyed that. I want to do more of it. Or I don't want to do any more of that. I tried it. But you won't know if you don't try, if you don't do it, right? If you don't at least, spend some time doing it, you don't have that experience of like, oh, that was fun. I mean, there's classes that I've taught that I was like taught once and never taught them again, because I was like, yeah, it was good, but I know that's not what I want to do. So I'm not going to teach that more, right? But it's from the experience. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That may lead me to the next thing, right?
Yeah. Awesome. And Annette, I don't know if you know this because you found us through Om Times. We do have a really special spiritual group on Facebook called Bridging Realms. We'd love to have you come join us. So
thank you. Bridging Realm. Okay, I'll write it down. And then that's on Facebook, you said?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. I'll definitely check into that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Annette. It was nice meeting you. I hope that was helpful.
Thank you. You too. It was very much. Thank you. Feel better.
Thank you. Alejandra.
Yes. Hi.
Hi, Annie. How are you today? What can I contribute to you?
I'm great. I I wanted to ask you. I've been having weird dreams at night, um, and I just wonder. It's like I'm living in other dimensions or realities. I have no idea what that is, and yeah, what is that? That's my question. What is that? Is there anything that I can um, be? Is that a capacity that I have and I haven't tapped into it yet? Like, I don't really know how to decipher what is going on.
Cool. Yeah, so dreams can definitely be it can be alternate dimensions, it can be alternate realities. The metaverse is real, time is not. So you can definitely have experiences of that. For a long time, I felt like I was so exhausted when I woke up, but it was just because me, the being, was at
Mhm.
somewhere else, and the body was. But then the body is resting still, so it's not that the body is tired; it's that the being might seem like it should be tired. Um, Dreams, though, are not like my strong suit, but I do know there's a lot of great dream interpretation books out there that you can get for the symbolism. You have taken my tarot class, and numerology, so you can also, like, if numbers show up in your dreams, you can get those down to the one number, and then look at the archetype that represents. So there's a lot of different ways. I really just like try to encourage everybody to just trust what you know. How do you feel when you wake up? I had a dream the other day that something happened in my life, and I woke up just with a lot of joy, and I was just like, oh, that's cool. Like, I actually think that that's going to be part of my future here, right? But the way that I started the conversation today was to trust. I think this is a huge theme for so many people right now, is just trust yourself. Trust that you know more than you give yourself credit for. You don't need, and that's why I don't do readings on this, is because I'm not going to be here to be like the person that's like does a reading and then you give all your power to me. It's like, no, I want to ask you questions and empower you to realize you know more than you think you do. Right?
Wow. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, just pay attention to, like, how do you feel when you wake up, and then you can ask a question too, right? That's a great thing to do, is just be like, is there something about that I needed to learn or to know, or that was like important for me to remember? And then just let whatever you're knowing um, shows you your own intuition.
Mm. Wow. Okay. Thank you.
Mhm. Thank you. Yep. Whatever you do, don't trust yourself. I'm joking. Thank you, Alejandra. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for calling in. Anybody else wants to call in, please feel free. I think somebody said name of my book. So my name of my book is called Here to Forever, Finally Free to Be Me, and it's by Venus Castleberg. And it really was a journey to falling in love with myself. I spent a lot of time thinking something was innately wrong with me. And so that was my search for love in all the wrong places. Cool. So, yeah, trust. What if everything that's happening right now in your business, in your life, spiritually, emotionally, physically, is actually working out for you in some way that you just can't see how yet? So I would say faith, trust, however you want to say it, trust in the process. Have faith that it's working out in your favor. And then ask a question. What's the beauty underneath this? What is right about this that I'm not getting? That's a good one. What's right about me I'm not getting? Also a good one. I used to ask that every morning. Because I did. I believed that something was wrong with me. I was doing something wrong, right? Instead of, okay. And then, Suzanne, are we related? I'm sure I'm not the only one going on with all this stuff, right? But yeah, to just be willing to. Okay, so here's an example. So, do you trust that now that the leaves, for those of you who are in the northern hemisphere, that the leaves have now that we've lost a lot of the leaves on the trees and stuff like that, and that do you trust that there will be new leaves in the spring? With every death, there is a new beginning. And I'm not making light of death because I totally get it when you lose somebody you really care about. But every ending is a new beginning. When one being dies, there is room or space for another being to be born. My grandmother passed away, God, I think maybe 15 years ago now. Seems like a long time ago. But I know that my cousin's daughter is my grandmother. She came back. So it's not the end. It wasn't the end for her. It was just the end of that body, but she went and got a new body, right? If you're in business and there's some sort of business that's dying or ending, or, you're wanting to go a different direction, like Annette, like, oh, which direction do I choose? Well, sometimes we have to let go of the old and make room for the new. So I will do this, just a little brief synopsis, and then we'll take a break no, actually, I'm going to do it the other way around. So come back after the break. The break is super short, and we will do a brief picture into 2025 based on numerology and the tarot. I'll see you in a sec.
Om Times TV. Imagine becoming a super influencer. Reinvent yourself, invest in your brand, and then manifest your success with a robust spheric approach. Om Times Media and Broadcasting offers a unique and multifaceted way to become the spiritual and conscious influencer you deserve to be by putting your message across our powerful platform with its proven record of integrity and excellence. Through our produced shows, Om Times offers the opportunity to become a social media TV personality, a radio show host, an Om Times magazine columnist, and a syndicated podcaster, all in one shot. By live streaming your show on Om Times TV and broadcasting it across the extensive Om Times radio and TV networks, you become more than a host. You become an ambassador and a force for positive change. Om Times. Open yourself to the possibilities.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse, walk a mile in my shoes.
Welcome forward. So Sandra asked, how can you tell it's her? I'm sure she's asking about how can I tell it's my grandma in my cousin's daughter's body? Well, one, she did name her after her. mannerisms, and I just a knowing. It's just instinctual. There's so much that instinctually, that we don't. Again, this is like one of those places where it's like we don't really acknowledge how powerful we are. We don't really acknowledge how much we actually know because we're reliant on somebody else to tell us what to do, tell us where to go, tell us. And if somebody can post the link to the Bridging Realms Facebook group in the comments, that would be awesome. I'd love to have that for Annette and anybody else that might like to join us over in Bridging Realms that isn't already there. You just post the link and then they can join. But just that willingness to trust and in that gut instinct that you have about so much, right? That gut instinct tells us so much. So awesome. Well, we have another caller, Felice. Yes. So if you want to join Bridging Realms, the link was just posted. Please come over. I would love to talk to Felice. Hello, Felice. How are you today?
Hi.
Hi. What can I do for you, honey?
How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Actually, my name's Alicia.
Alicia. Oh, okay.
But
Cool.
we met before, so I'm glad I was able to jump on here. I just have an interesting question about trust today. So basically, I have done so much growth over this last, year that it's just been, I can just tell that I'm vibrating on a different level.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm working on the next part of myself of healing in like the love area. And all of a sudden, as I start diving into this, like all these people that are kind of coming out of the woodwork at me are like, I'm like, how? Why? Like, why are they even able to show up here? Because it's not on my level, but I'm like, am I being tested or like, what is this?
Cool. Well, that's great because I was actually talking about that in the beginning. I'm not sure if you were here in the beginning, but so sometimes we think that somehow the universe is testing us, but I'm going to ask you a different question. Have you been testing you?
In that realm?
Yeah.
The things are like dating? No.
Okay.
Like, I guess it's like just kind of opening the can of worms and like, this is what's coming out as soon as the lid got open. I'm like, wait a minute.
Right.
What the heck?
Yeah. So you do create your own reality. So if you're like saying, okay, I'm ready, like now I'm thinking about opening this part of my life or diving down this part of your life, then you are going to start attracting things that maybe you don't want to show you what you do want. Like, because you have opened that. You said, okay, I'm ready to start looking at this as a possibility. And so now, that's essentially how I fell in love with myself, was that I was just dating all the wrong men and then realized I was looking for love in all the wrong places. So for me, it was really getting to a point of just being like, okay, I'm not going to date. I'm not going to kiss a bunch more frogs, seeing if they turn into princes, because they never do.
Right.
And I'm just going to fall in love with myself. And then if somebody comes into my life that makes my life greater, then I'm open to that, but I'm not going to make them the source, right? I'm the source. I love myself and I don't settle. But I'd had to kiss a lot of frogs before I realized I was trying. Like, it was like I was trying to find it outside of myself. So.
Yeah. And I think I've done all of that work this year. Like I do, like I love there's nobody that, unless you're going to bring something to my table, then I have no time for you.
Right.
But something in working with my gifts that I need, like there's something that's hinging on this that I need to like subconsciously, I guess, address. And so as I'm trying to go like, what is that? And be like, okay, I got to open this up a little bit if I'm going to like just let it flow. And that's just kind of like what has seemed to happen. And I'm like, wait a minute, like, to me in my eyes, like, there's nothing you're going to bring to the table as they come in there, like, approach you this. And I'm like, why is this happening? Because I already know that they're not got, like, there's nothing there for them, for me anyways, you know what I mean? And so it's just, I'm like, I love myself enough that I'm going to choose me every time. So why are you here? Like, why? Like, I'm just trying to figure that out. So you were talking about trust, and I was like, oh, okay. Apparently I just need to be trusted I'm being tested, or trusted I don't know. I don't know yet.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying though, is like, it is like, if you're feeling like you're testing, it's something that you're testing yourself. It's kind of like, because the universe isn't going to do that. It's not like the universe doesn't have to test you. The universe knows you, right? But we do feel like sometimes we have to test ourselves. Like, oh, okay, I really love myself. Do I really? So much so that I'm willing to say no to 100 suitors that come out of the woodwork that are not a match to what I'm asking for, to just be patient enough for the one. Not that there's only one, but you know what I mean? Like somebody who would match that energy. But yeah, I only stopped having frogs come into my life when I stopped testing myself, or stopped believing that I still needed a relationship to complete me. So there might be just something to look at for yourself, but like, is there something?
Relationship.
Go ahead.
Like, very content with being by myself. I said, I don't feel like I need a relationship. I'm completely okay with being alone, and I've said that. And so, like, in this whole past year of healing, like, I'm completely okay with that. But there's something that came up with me working with my guides and my gifts, and they're like, we have to work through something with this love thing. And I'm like, I don't know what we have to work through, because I feel like I'm the best I've ever been with this, so I don't know. And I guess taking my ego of going down this rabbit hole with it has just kind of led to this. So, all right, that's fine. I was curious about that.
Yeah, no, that's a great question, and I would definitely, maybe you can ask them for more clarity. But there just might be something, and I was kind of getting that too. There just might be something unconscious or hidden, and I'll ask that of myself sometimes. Like, show me what's hidden, show me what's unconscious, because there might still just be just a little bit of a string of something. But I also will say the flip side, that it's possible that we can become so independent in loving ourselves and stuff like that, that we also don't let somebody love us. So that could be the other side to look at for yourself too.
That's probably a better question just to ponder on.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I hope that helps, Felicia. It was nice meeting you. Thanks for calling in.
Bye.
Yeah, bye. Cool. So, wonderful. Thank you, people. We put the Bridging Realms link in the thread, so you can come on over there if you're not already part of that group. We'd love to have you. It's a group for empowering the spiritually gifted. So people who you have gifts, you all do, and how to grow them. And so I was going to say one of the things that you may be feeling already. So we've been in also, and this kind of plays into this faith thing that I was telling you about this year, and trust. And this year in numerology, we were in an 8 year. So in numerology, 8, a lot of people know 8, it's abundance and infinity. But the way that I learned numerology was linked to the tarot. And the tarot is the strength card. And so and how we come up with that number is you add the whole year together. 2 + 2 + 4 is 8, right? So globally, we were in an 8 year. So if you look back at this year, you probably noticed how strong you really are. You might have actually made it through some pretty rough stuff. And you should be really proud of yourself, because you made it through and you really are way stronger than you thought you were. And I'm not just telling you this, I'm apparently telling myself this today too. So the strength here brings up a lot of things to show us that we're stronger than we think we are. And now, as we're coming to this year's coming to a close, you still might have some of that energy, but I always notice about a month before the new year starts, the new energy starts. And I can already feel that 2025 is a 9. Oops, I did that. That totally makes sense for me. Yeah. Cool. So now we're moving into a 9. And 9 is in the tarot is the Hermit card. But 9 is also the completion of a cycle, because the next number after that is a 10, which is also a 1. So it always goes in cycles of 9 and then go back to 1 and start all over again. So 9 is this energy of completion. You might have already started to feel the need to like throw a bunch of stuff out, get rid of stuff you're not using anymore. Like just maybe you were part of a program or part of a membership or something that is coming to a close. And these things are coming to a close. Things are coming to an end for, do you remember what I said in the beginning? Every ending has a new beginning. So we have to close some doors sometimes to open new ones, right? We have to, in order to make room for a relationship in our life, we have to get rid of the ones that aren't working. Now, I'm not telling you all to just go end it with whoever, let it run its course. But if you know it's over, right, and you would like another relationship in your life, then maybe it's about letting go of the old so you can make room for the new. So we're moving into that energy. So you might have already felt it. I think that that's also, for me, that's also why physically, like my body physically has been letting go of stuff. I've also been just cleaning out clutter, getting rid of like just junk, donating a bunch of stuff to Goodwill because it's Christmas time, right? And I'm like, well, some of this stuff people can use and might actually think is a great gift or something for them for Christmas. So it's kind of one of the ways that I pay it forward. But I also really just like to get rid of stuff. It's just one of the things that works for me. But I just tell you that because I think, it's good to really acknowledge. I don't do a lot of predictions for the future. I do, some. I'll give you a gloss over. But I actually really like doing readings at the end of the year for the previous year, because it helps you see like, oh, wow, if I can look back at this year and go, wow, okay, this year was a strength year and I am so much stronger and I made it through so much more than I thought was possible, right? I didn't die. I'm still kicking, what's next, right? It's just like, okay. Oh, you're welcome, Suzette. But like to just be like, okay, maybe we got knocked down a little bit. Maybe things didn't go as well as we planned. Maybe, we also just came out of Mercury retrograde. So a lot of us felt that this time in spades, right? Mercury retrograde is just about reviewing and all the RE words, but then sometimes we have to review things that we haven't necessarily learned the lesson. So this may play to your point, Felicia, if that was just recently. Mercury retrograde does tend to bring things kind of back into our awareness that we haven't quite worked through yet. And we're still working through it. And so it'll bring it, to the forefront. Mercury also has to do with technology and vehicles and travel and, communication. So maybe you guys noticed over the last few weeks you had trouble communicating. It seemed like things were a little more stressful. technology wasn't working as well as it usually does. All of those sorts of things are kind of Mercury retrograde. Again, I don't usually bring Mercury retrograde up before it starts, but I think it's nice to look at it in hindsight and be like, oh, okay, well, that explains that. Now we can move on. Like, it's a strength year. Okay, good job. Pat yourself on the back. You did great. You made it through. You know, we're going to put our big girl boots on and, you know, tackle the next year, right? And maybe the big girl boots that we put on now are the boots that we, you know, slog through all of the junk and the stuff that we want to release so that we can really launch into something brand new. Maybe something that you've always dreamt of creating and having in your life is something that comes out of the willingness to let go of the past, to let go of anything that wasn't working in your life. That's cool. I really have enjoyed people calling in today. So if anybody else wants to call in and ask questions, you are welcome to 202-570-7057. We'll post it again in the comments since there's so many comments today. Thank you also for those of you commenting and those of you wishing me well. I really appreciate that as well. I'm here. I'm alive and kicking. So, and like I said, I'm super grateful for everything that I went through because I am stronger for it. So, yeah, what can you acknowledge that you're stronger for this year? And I know sometimes we also look at things, and this is also kind of where predicting can get a little wonky or weird for me personally, just because when I first looked at the strength year, I was like, oh, this is going to be a breeze. It's an abundance year and it's going to be all easy and popcorn and puppies and rainbows. I'm cute. I've never been able to predict my own future. And I think that's true for a lot of psychics out there. But I think it was good that I didn't think about the fact that it could be a year where I was building strength. I just like it better looking at it in hindsight. Like, oh, okay, yeah, that was definitely a strength year. Great. Good job. So I hope that was a contribution to some of you. And yeah, what sort of things that maybe that you can look at letting go of to make room for something new and this new year. And it might be happening already, but something you can be looking at for the not too distant future. Definitely move into stuff like that. And then of course there's, you know, your own archetype and numerology. Like you have an archetype that impacts you personally each year. So if somebody could also put in no, that's okay. But what was I saying? For your own archetype. So you could actually have your own archetype that is impacting your year as well. Okay. Trying to find some words. Okay. Before I forget, because I usually do, and we also want to put this in the comments, I am doing a free call. It's called Bloom. Bloom Where You're Planted. How to Live a Spirit-Filled Life and Business. And it is a free call. It is my holiday gift to you. I would love for you to come. It's going to be on December 31st. So a great way to launch us into the new year. It'll be on New Year's Eve. And there's a link in the comments so you can definitely click on that and sign up. It's totally free, and I would love to have you join us for that. Yeah, Annette says, I suppose the future probability is constantly changing. Well, yeah, because you change, right? Like anything is possible. Like I said somewhere in here, I was like, the metaverse is real. Alternate realities are real. Alternate dimensions are real. It's all happening simultaneously because time is not real. And so when you're giving a prediction, which reality are you tapping into? Now, some people are really good at tapping into the stream that's current right now. My readings that I do are more life discovery readings, and they're more about like your personality, kind of some of your life lessons. Those are the readings that I give. I don't necessarily predict or give people answers for the future. I like more to ask people questions and empower them to get their own knowing and what's true for them. And that could change tomorrow, right? Something could happen and they could change their mind. They could choose something different. So it's just a matter of what do you choose? And then if it works out and you like it, keep choosing it. And if it doesn't work out, choose again. Choose something else. You don't have to choose the same thing just because you said you would. And I know that that's a sticky situation as somebody who's been married before. You know, marriage is one of those things that's like I said I would stay married until death do us part. Well, just so you know, you, the being, doesn't die ever. So if you, the being, doesn't die, then there is no death do you part. So anyway, I don't know if I'm grateful for the people that come into my life and leave my life, and the people who are still in my life for sure. But I'm willing to also let them go and come and go, because we all change. Life changes. We change. Yeah. But when we look at just the alignment, thrive in alignment, I think the alignment piece is something that you're going to have to find what's true for you and trust you. Like what is in alignment for you is not going to be what's in alignment for somebody else, right? So as Jamie Foxx was talking about, like he rekindled his faith, right, in God. He rekindled his desire to go to a church that means something to him. That's his path. That's his journey. I don't know that that's my path. I don't, right? But that's his. But seeing his heart and finding out what was in alignment for him and seeing him thrive in that was beautiful. So what is alignment for you? And then thrive in that. Be in alignment for yourself. Be in a relationship. Don't be in a relationship. Write a book. Don't write a book. Like, what's in alignment for you? And choose that and trust that. And then when it's time to change, or it's time to shift gears or go in a different direction, you'll know. You'll have this niggling whisper that, by the way, I had today on this live with you all. Had a little whisper happen. And I was like, that's interesting. So for Felicia, if you saw the book Here to Forever, Finally Free to Be Me, somebody posted it. No, would somebody post that link to the book Here to Forever, Finally Free to Be Me, my book? It's on Amazon. Really is a self-love book, but it's my personal journey of looking for love in all the wrong places. And I looked in relationships for most of my life. It was always in relationships until it wasn't. And so that book was how I changed my trajectory and looking to men to be the source of my life. So read it or don't, have fun. So anyway, again, thank you all for the called in. We're here every Tuesday at 1. We will be here next Tuesday. It is Christmas Eve, but I'll be here. So if you want to call in on Christmas Eve, I'd love to talk to you then. And otherwise, we will see you on the next time. And the book Here to Forever is in the comments, so you can check that out too. But I'm so grateful for you. I hope you can join me for the free call. I think it's going to be a great kickoff to our new year. And yeah, big hugs. And if I don't see you next week, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and I'll see you soon. Bye.